Hi everyone. Welcome back to another row on this scrap buster. No, stash buster. I will get that right. The stash buster blanket. And it's really living up to its name because I'm going to be getting rid of a lot of yarn out of my stash to make this blanket the way that I want it to be. And yeah. So today I thought, as a subject, I could just sort of ponder some other projects that I really want to do, but I'm trying to not do at this moment. So I figure I'll just ponder them and maybe make some plans. And I don't know if it's going to be really feasible for me to never do another project until this blanket is done, because this is a long-term project. It's pretty big. So I don't know if that's realistic. It's an ideal, but you know, it's one of those easier to say than to actually do kind of things. So I've been thinking about making a pair of socks recently. I know, dream big, right? I haven't made a pair of socks in a long time, and they would be knit ones. I've only ever made knit socks out of worsted weight yarn, so they end up being like, you know, you gotta wear them with your boots kind of thing. But I was thinking of branching out and trying actual sock yarn socks, just as a change of pace. And I have some sock yarn to work with, so I've had it for a while, and I figure maybe it would be a good thing to make on this video, or on this, not on this video, but like on this channel, you know. And I figure I could either do it row by row like I do with this, or I could just you know, do it like a time lapse and just sort of boop doop 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 and have it maybe with some music in the background and have it like time lapse and look like it was an instant thing. That's something to ponder. Yeah. Who doesn't like homemade socks, right? Well, I guess there's probably people out there that don't like them, but I do. So, yeah. Since I'm making them for me, that's what matters. Let's see. Another thing I've been pondering making, and these are all small projects because after this or in between doing this, I'm gonna want something that's small and easy to finish quickly. Washcloths, like, you know, like dishcloths. And I have some cotton that I can use for that because cotton makes really good dishcloths. Sorry, that was a hair that needed to be pulled out. And yeah. Wow, that stitch is loose even for me. 1 second here. There we go. Anyway, so yeah, that would be another knitting project. I guess I could do it crochet as well, but right now I'm thinking of things that are not crochet. Because variety is the spice of life, right? And like the ball of yarn that I have that's cotton, at least the one that I can think of off the top of my head, is like this really big one, so it would make a lot of dishcloths, or dishcloths and something else. Anyhow, branching out into sewing projects. I kind of like making little wallets or little pouches. I find them really useful. You know, just like the size of either a cell phone or a bank card or whatever, and they're really good to give gift cards in, or just use them as a little bit of a, you know, very slim wallet if you only need like to hold a couple little things. Yeah, so I'm thinking of making one of those. Let's see. I have a lot of whips that need to be dealt with. I have a really random one that's like the outside of a teddy bear. It's not like a fancy teddy bear. It's a very beginner level style teddy bear, but I figure that might be worth stuffing and closing up the back and maybe putting a face on it, you know. And that would be an interesting project to add to the channel, because basically I have a lot of whips that need fixing. I have a backpack. I knitted a backpack years ago, and I got to the point where I needed to make a lining for it. Like, yeah, it's like one of those drawstring backpacks, and I knit it, and I added like a fancy style bias tape to the back. Has like some cartoon flowers on it, and I sewed that on, and I have all the pieces, and all I need to do is to sew together a very basic lining to the drawstring bag, and then get the drawstring bag to line up with the lining, and then, you know, put it all together. And yeah, it wouldn't take much to finish, but it just sort of sits there kind of thing. I think everybody has at least a couple of those. Oh, probably should do a stretch break, eh? Yeah. So I'm thinking that would be a good addition to the channel. Most of these are going to be content because I figure, why not make content out of the crafts I'm making? Because that was the whole point of me starting a craft channel, right? Like, why wouldn't I make some crafts on my craft channel, right? So, yeah, I'm gonna do that. And, let's see. Oh, yeah, and another thing I was contemplating was thrift flips, I think, is the kind of hashtag they put on stuff. There's a couple of things I bought at the thrift store recently, and I was like, they're nice, and they only need like the smallest of little alterations on them. Like, there's basically a tank top style dress, but underneath the arm, like under the arm, it kind of wings out a little bit instead of just going straight down, and it kind of looks awkward. I think it was made for somebody who's a bit more well-endowed than me, or the previous owner was well-endowed and stretched it out. One of the two. Either way, I figure it only needs to be like pinched in about ½ an inch on either side, and sewn up that small little pinched in part, and it'll be good to go. And I'm also debating on what for that tank top dress. I'm debating on whether to leave it as a a dress, or maybe to cut a few inches off the bottom. Like cut a certain amount off the bottom and just make it a long t-shirt. I mean tank top. Because sometimes it's nice to just have a really long tank top. I haven't decided on that though. So that's another project that I'm contemplating. Yeah. But I also decided, because I have so many ideas, I need to try not to spread myself too thin. Maybe I can cover that in another video, but basically I'm in the process of trial and error figuring out some rules for myself, which are more like guidelines, because really it's only a crafting channel, right? It's not some hard, fast rules that need to happen, really. But yeah, I'm kind of in the process of deciding on that kind of thing, so I don't stretch myself too thin and actually finish things that I start and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know, I figured this was a good way to allow my mind to daydream about other projects, and I might even plan them out. Like, I figure I'll allow myself, this is a possible rule that I'll come up with for myself, but I can like plan out as many projects as I want, and then I'll only allow myself X number of projects at a time. That way, I mean, I won't be so stick in the mud that I only have one project going on, but I won't spread myself so thin that I'm just running on a hamster wheel kind of thing. Yeah. I mean, try to strike that balance. That's always a hard one. I mean, ideally, it is a good idea to just do one project at a time. That's the honest truth. It is really a good idea to do that. But it's also really hard to follow that advice. Like, really hard. So yeah. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next row.